who sometimes find it hard to communicate. Well, I'm a bit of a loudmouth myself, but talking and talking doesn't always lead to communicating. Communication is a line where ideas or information exchange from one person to another. So if this line fails, this leads to communication breakdown. Why it happens is because of obstacles or barriers, which we're going to be focusing into four: physical, psychological, cultural, and linguistic. To better analyze this, let's relate it to or spot some examples in stuff we usually watch on TV.
Enough games, boy. You think a pack of children can... Wait, what? You will beg for mercy as I feast on your heart. Slow.
Are you making some of my big evil guy speech right now or something? You're like a mile away from me right now. There's cars and trucks.
Was the barrier physical, psychological, cultural, or linguistic? You've guessed it, it's physical, specifically distance, because Shazam, the guy with the cape, and Mr. Baldman here can't hear each other because they're too far away. Other examples of physical barriers include background noises, slow internet connection, or even faulty devices. Imagine if you can't hear me right now. You won't be able to know what I just said, or if I'm sending you hand signals and the video's too dark, you won't be able to see it. So those are the examples of physical barriers. Let's now move ahead to our second clip.
So, Riley, how was school?
School was great, all right?
Riley, is everything okay?
Riley, I do not like this new attitude.
Oh, I'll show you attitude. No. Stay happy!
What is your problem? Just leave me alone.
Sir, reporting high levels of sass.
Take it to DEFCON 2.
Listen, young lady, I don't know where this disrespectful attitude came from.
You want a piece of this, Pops? Come and get it!
Yeah, well...
Here it comes. Prepare the foot.
Just shut up!
Fire!
That's it. Go to your room. Now.
Let's try to guess the category it falls in. Is it psychological, cultural, or linguistic? Right, again, it's psychological, specifically rage and anger, because based on what we saw from the video, Riley and her dad can't begin to understand each other because they're letting their emotions get the best of themselves. And these barriers are what we call mental hindrances, like our emotions or personal issues. These could be trauma, fear, depression, shyness, or lack of confidence, all which inhibit us to speak up. And when we overthink these hindrances, we begin to build a wall which confines us, and this pushes us to the rabbit hole of communication breakdown. This is fairly common to family settings, so we need to address them to build our relationships instead of our walls. Now let's go ahead and move to our third clip from Pocahontas.
London, is that your village?
Yes, it's a very big village.
What's it like?
Well, it's got streets filled with carriages, bridges over the rivers, and buildings as tall as trees.
I'd like to see those things.
You will.
How?
We're going to build them here. We'll show your people how to use this land properly, how to make the most of it.
Make the most of it.
Yes, we'll build roads and decent houses and...
Our houses are fine.
You think that, only because you don't know any better. Wait a minute. Don't take it. Hey.
What category does that clip fall in? So we only have two left. It's either cultural or linguistic. The answer is cultural because it's evident that John Smith and Pocahontas have two different cultural backgrounds, which is why their beliefs don't align. Other examples of cultural barriers include traditions and customs, manners of dressing and speaking, core values, family values, and so much more. But I want to clarify that argument or disagreement doesn't really lead normally to communication breakdown. It only occurs if the people arguing turns it into a fight, into a quarrel where they refuse to hear one another. Hence, the line of communication is then broken, which could result to communication breakdown. So I hope that's clarified, and let's proceed to our fourth and final video.
I am Groot.
Well, that's just as fascinating as the first 89 times you told me that.
Well, he don't know talking good like me and you. So his vocabularistics is limited to I and am and Groot. Exclusively in that order.
The barrier here is no other than linguistic barrier because none of them except for Rocket speak Groot. That's why the other members can't understand or won't be able to know what Groot's saying because they have different languages. And the failure to exchange information leads to communication breakdown. Linguistic barriers also come in varieties of example from, yes, having differences in languages, having different dialects, accents, use of slang, or having speech impairments like singaw, for example. It hinders you from talking because it hurts. Another scenario would be, I think some Gen Zs can relate, when someone sends you a big like button or this emoji right here, or a period in one sentence. Like, you think they're angry, but they're not. Some would think, nah, oh, he's angry at me because he sent this big like button, but for some, it's just an okay. Or the smiley face is just a regular smiley face. Or even the period is just a period. Don't we all put periods in sentences? I mean, so yeah, that having differences in chat lingos can lead to misunderstanding, which the misinformation leads to misunderstanding that could then lead to communication breakdown. So the 4 barriers of communication: physical, cultural, psychological, and linguistic. Now that we know them, we should apply them to our daily lives because walls can be broken and barriers can be torn down. So don't let it stop you from connecting with people. I'm Nicole Buenaventura, and see you when I see you. Bye.